The day the bargain was struck, the wind carried dust-like whispered warnings across the open plains. Jacob Hale stood beside his tired horse, hat pulled low, eyes narrowed against the sun, when the trader pointed to the woman and said, "She's yours now." Payment in flesh. Strong hands. Quiet tongue. Jacob had come to the post with cattle hides and little patience for lies. He had not come to buy a human being. Yet there she stood, bound wrists, chin lifted, eyes dark as rain clouds over red earth, silent in a way that made the world feel too loud. In that moment, something tightened in Jacob's chest. He did not know her name, her story, or the truth that would one day shake his understanding of honor. He only knew that leaving her there felt worse than taking her away. Jacob accepted the bargain not because he believed in ownership, but because he believed in rescue, though he did not yet have the words for it. He cut the rope with his own knife and handed her a canteen. She drank carefully, watching him as if expecting a trick. "You'll work if you choose," he said, voice rough from years of dust and silence. "You'll eat whether you work or not." She did not answer. She only nodded once, a single movement that carried both pride and fear. He called her Elena, a name he chose in ignorance, and she did not correct him. Some truths wait until the ground is ready. They traveled west toward Jacob's ranch, a lonely spread of timber and grass bordered by a creek that sang when the night grew quiet. Elena rode behind him at first, then beside him, her posture straight, her gaze measuring the land. She moved with a calm that unsettled him. At the ranch, Jacob showed her the small cabin where she could sleep in the fields where the work waited. He did not lock doors. He did not give orders. Still, Elena watched for change that never came. Each morning, she rose before dawn, hands already knowing the rhythm of chores, feet sure on the earth. She spoke little, but when she did, her words were careful, as if each one carried a cost. The challenges came quickly, as they always do when the world senses a fragile peace. Neighbors rode by with curiosity sharpened into suspicion. A woman like Elena drew eyes and rumors in equal measure. Some whispered that Jacob had bought himself trouble. Others hinted at danger that wore a woman's face. Jacob listened, jaw set, refusing to trade her dignity for anyone's comfort. He felt the weight of choice press upon him like a storm cloud. To protect her meant standing alone, and he had grown used to solitude. What he had not grown used to was the quiet strength Elena brought into his days, the way her presence made the ranch feel less like a place to endure and more like a place to belong. Elena's nights were haunted by memories she could not yet share. She dreamed of fires burning low and voices singing old songs, of a father's steady hands and a people who watched the horizon for signs. By day, she learned Jacob's ways and taught him hers. She mended with patience, cooked with herbs he did not recognize, and listened when he spoke of droughts and debts. Slowly, trust found its footing between them. It grew in small acts, Jacob fixing the latch on her door without comment, Elena leaving a bowl of stew warming on the stove when he came in late. Neither spoke of freedom, yet both circled it, cautious as deer near water. The first test came when a band of riders appeared at the creek's edge, faces hidden by scarves, intent clear in their posture. Jacob stood his ground, rifle steady, heart pounding not with fear but with resolve. Elena watched from the porch, her eyes sharp, her breathing even. When the riders turned away, thwarted by a man unwilling to bend, Elena approached Jacob and spoke a single sentence. That shifted the ground beneath his feet. "You are not like the others," she said. He wanted to ask what others she meant, but he did not. Some questions ripen only when left alone. Winter crept in with its cold lessons. Supplies ran thin, and Jacob fell ill with a fever that left him shaking and weak. Elena took command without announcement, her hands firm, her voice gentle as she cooled his brow and fed him broth. She sang softly in a language he did not know, melodies that seemed older than the hills. In his half-dreams, Jacob wondered who she truly was, and whether he deserved the care she gave so freely. When he recovered, he found her chopping wood, breath steaming in the cold air. Gratitude sat heavy in his chest, mixed with something like awe. The truth came not as an explosion but as a sunrise, gradual and undeniable. One evening, as the fire crackled and shadows danced, Elena spoke of her people. She spoke of a chief who taught his daughter to read the land and listen to the wind, of a promise made and broken, of a capture that turned pride into endurance. "My name is not Elena," she said at last, meeting Jacob's eyes without flinching. "I am Ayana." The name settled into the room, rich and resonant. Jacob felt shame rise, not for the name he had given her, but for the world that had taken her true one.